I agree, yeah. It seems to me, from what I've seen from the early Ummah, they didn't have the idea that there was some sort of, nothing has been lost whatsoever, everything is preserved as all the different ways that it was recited. Yes. I don't find that. I find the second view, which is what you've mentioned.
But so that's what we would consider that perfect preservation. Let me tell you why.
Wait, the second version.
Let me tell you why. At-Tabari makes this argument, and Abu Amr al-Dani makes the same argument. He says, for example, I'll give you the same example. For example, if I done an oath, if I done an oath in Islam, and I have to recompense that oath. Now, when I have to recompense that oath, I have three options: freeing a slave, number one, or fasting 3 days, or feeding poor people. Now, because God tells us you got three options, 1, 2, or 3. If I do one of those, this is how At-Tabari argues. If you do one of those, have I done what is required of me in a perfect way? Yes, I have. I don't need to do all three.
That makes sense, but that's not in the context of
So At-Tabari is arguing that this is what I'm saying. He has a different definition of perfection. He's saying in order for perfect preservation to happen, all you need is just one qira'ah. All you need is one.
I think we've probably done pretty well here, because I think I managed to get an answer out of you, and I think
this has always been my position.
I just want it to be more known, basically.
No problem. What I'm saying is it's better for us, because now because the thing is, now that the challenge will be this, right? The challenge on the other side will be to prove that any variation that has happened the source of it ultimately was not the Prophet Muhammad. So, for example, Malik versus Malik, owner versus king. How can you prove that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was reciting Surah Al-Fatiha to the companions, that he didn't recite it at least one time in his life, Malik Yawmuddin, which is owner of the Day of Judgment, another time Malik. We are saying the Prophet in the Hadith, the Hadith says that unzil Quran ala sab'ati ahruf. Quran has been revealed on 7 ahruf, or modes, no problem, Why the Prophet said for taysir, to make it easy for the people, like the Shaykh al-Fani and so on. So some words here and there, which the Prophet said two ways, and the Prophet even said that he asked Allah and Angel Gabriel gave him those. It's called Hadith al-Istizaza. So what I'm saying is, the challenge will be to you then, since we've finished, you've agreed with me, the challenge is, can you prove that any of the variations in the Qira'at al-Ashar, for example, in the 10 Qira'as, or elsewhere, the source of it was not Prophet Muhammad asking the angel and so on?
I would say that I'm not so interested in the Qur'an, because I think the Qur'an is too late. I want to know about the Haruf.
I'm talking about the variations. I didn't say Qira'at. Any variation word.
Right. Okay. But we have that Qur'an because of Hafs, and we have it from...
No, what I'm saying is, my question to you is, how can you substantiate, you say that any variation in the Quran that we see through manuscripts, through the hadiths, or through qira'at, or through any other way, any variation historically identifiable, the source of it originally was not Prophet Muhammad based on this hadith?
I think there are other criteria to demonstrate that second option as well. So first of all, we know from early traditions, early Sahih
do you see what I'm saying,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think there's other ways of doing it. I agree that would be one way of doing it, but I think there's other ways. So I would say another way is, if you can demonstrate that certain parts of what was once Quran have now been lost from the Quran, then that would be another way.
No, but that's what I'm saying is, that's not true. That's only on the first view. No, because that's only in the first view.
But you would have to have at least one version of it, though, right? Because you're saying as long as you have one cut of it, then it doesn't matter.
That doesn't work. There's two reasons why that doesn't work. Number one is because, as we said, some variations, those variations were acceptable within the Sahaba and with the sanctioning of the Prophet. Number two is, we believe in abrogation as well. So these two things are... That's why you can't say, well, it's mentioned here in this manuscript, so it's mentioned there in this book, that there's another verse here. Say, okay, I'll bring that other verse and say that's possibly part of what was originally sent to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Possibly, also possibly not.
Yeah, possibly
so for example, you know about the verses of stoning and breastfeeding? Okay, so it is considered by some narrations that this should have been in the Quran. I know you're ultimately going to say that, but I don't see any reason to believe that was the case. But wasn't there also a hadith where some people said actually this should have been in the Quran, but now
that's not what the hadith says.
Okay, what does the hadith say?
It used to be part of the Quran. The stoning one used to be part of the Quran, and then it was marfu'a hukman.
But didn't the hadith say that now he fears it has been lost?
No, it doesn't say. No, it was it's consensus that it was part of the Quran.
Okay, but it no longer is.
Yeah, that's been abrogated from the Quran.
Okay, so
the stoning a sheikh or sheikha, you know, farjumu كل واحد منهم البتة, whatever, that verse has been taken out.
Right. So there were parts that were once considered Quran that are no longer Quran.
Yeah, the Quran says that.
Okay, so the Quran has been perfectly preserved.
No, but the Quran says that itself.
Yeah, but if I write a book that tells you I'm going to remove page 3, by removing page 3, I've still changed the book.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The Quran has a mechanism of that. So when in chapter 2, verse 106.
Right, that's fine. I agree.
Let me just finish. Okay. In chapter 2, verse 106, when it says, "Ma nansakh min ayatin aw nunsiha na'ti bi khayrin minha aw mithlaha," that we don't abrogate a verse or remove it.
We bring something similar or better.
You know. Right. So there's a mechanism for
Okay, I understand that, but that in effect is agreeing with what I'm saying, because now you're saying, well, actually, it isn't perfectly preserved, but that's okay because that's what we should expect.
What you're saying is, all you have to do is find an example of something which is not in the, for example, the Qira'at al-Ashr or something, right? Yeah. To show that it's been lost. What I'm saying is that's not sufficient. Why that's not sufficient on the second view? It's not sufficient.
Because of abrogation.
No, that's one reason.
Okay.
Abrogation one. Okay. The other reason is because on the second view, not everything had to be preserved. Only one variation had to be preserved.
Right, but is there any other variation of the verses of stone feeding?
No, that's abrogated. That's abrogated.
Yeah, but you see, that to me is just confirming...
No, that's abrogated by the companions. They said it themselves.
You gave me a challenge. I said, well, here's an example of something that was in Quran and now isn't.
No, what I'm saying
there is no recitation of it. And your response is, well, there's a principle of abrogation that explains that. Yeah. And I'm saying, in which case you're actually agreeing with me. You're just saying it's okay because it's abrogated.
What I'm saying is your criterion is not a good one. Because what I'm saying is, the Quran itself says in chapter 2, verse 106, that there are some verses that have been removed from it or been forgotten from it. It says that.
Yeah. So it's not perfectly preserved?
No. I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but you're trying to argue that because you have the principle of abrogation, that this is a way of getting out of the way of saying that it's not perfectly preserved.
No.
But it cannot be perfectly preserved.
We're going back to a subjective word here, perfectly. What I'm saying is...
I think perfectly means that there's one copy perfectly preserved. That's
okay, great. You think that?
No. That's the definition from textual variant of scholars.
No, but I don't care what they say. Why should we care about what white men say about what perfect preservation is?
White men? What?
Yeah, white men, yeah.
Why are you making it a racial?
No, it's a racial issue.
Don't leave white or black. It doesn't matter.
I can say what I want. Sorry to say. What, are you upset about that? White men, yeah, white. What's the problem?
Do you have a problem with white men?
No, I have a problem with white men. I'm saying that just because, for example, a white man...
If I said we should ignore the opinion of brown people, that would be considered...
I didn't say ignore. I said, why should we be forced to accept a definition of a white man? Why should we be forced for that?
I'm not saying you're forced, I'm saying scholarship.
No, that's not. It's white scholarship. Western scholarship. Right. Why should we, the Muslims, we have our own scholarship, we have our own tradition.
Right,
why should we be pigeonholed? Why should we be forced to accept
you reject Western scholarship?
Pardon?
Do you reject Western scholarship? So you affirm Western scholarship?
Is it a matter of rejection?
Well, yeah, because you just said that why should we even consider it?
No. Let me be clear.
Right, okay.
Just because a white man says something, it doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, I know that.
For example, if I get a Cambridge dictionary, if I get a Cambridge dictionary and I open it up and it says, give me the word fear. And it says the Cambridge Dictionary says the word fear means X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
The person who wrote the Cambridge Dictionary is a white man, okay?
Sure.
You can see that in the back of the editorial process.
Yeah,
now, just because you bring me that dictionary definition, I don't need to be forced to believe that that's what it means because a white man wrote it.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if you said to me, what I'm saying, you said that perfect preservation means this according to textual scholarship.
Yeah.
What you actually mean is, according to Western textual scholarship, which is dominated by white men.
Doesn't matter if it's dominated by white men. It doesn't matter if it's dominated by black men.
No, it does matter.
Asian
no, it does matter. Why should I?
Why have you racialized this? I don't understand.
No, why not?
Why not?
Is there a problem with saying white men? It's
racializing. You're racializing scholarship.
I don't care. Call me whatever you want to call me. If you consider that racism, consider it racist. I don't care. It's a fact.
Why do
it's
that?
A fact.
Why do that?
Why not?
Why not just? Okay. Would you accept a white scholar as much as you would accept an Arabic scholar who's brown? Would you accept them as equal?
But what I'm saying is, what I wouldn't accept. Did I say I wouldn't?
You said no.
I said yeah.
You went yeah. Then you looked at me. No. You went yeah. They went no.
So it's okay. You're not listening.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, just because a group of, for example, the UN, they have the 30 articles of the the human rights law.
Sure.
Okay. This was written by white men.
Okay.
So if you say to me human rights is defined by the 30 articles of UN resolution, I say, for me, morality is not defined by what the white man decides.
That sounds awfully like you're not trusting it because they're white.
No. Why should white people have a hegemony on the rest of the world?
It doesn't matter their skin color.
No, it does matter.
Their skin color matters.
No, it does matter.
Wait, does that mean that...
It does matter. Why should a white man...
If I was a scholar of Quranic studies, right?
Why should a white man have...
Would that mean that my skin color invalidates that?
Did I say that?
Well, yeah, you kind of said that white people, that scholarship is dominated by white people.
No.
So you shouldn't
what I'm saying is this. No,
Western scholarship.
No, I didn't say that at all. I didn't say that at all. You're lying.
What he said?
You're lying. You're clearly lying.
You said that Western scholarship is made up of the majority of white people.
No,
and because the majority white, you shouldn't trust it.
Did I say that? Well, it's on camera. If I said that, then you can catch me out. No problem. Go on, call me racist. Do what you want. Call the police. Call the police. Do what you want. Sorry, what were you talking about?
I don't know. He brought it up. He said like white people.
No. It is. I made a simple statement, and you took it, and tried to make it racial this and racial that.
No, you made it racial by saying it.
It is. I said, why should I?
You just said. I said Western.
My question to you was one: why should I be forced to accept?
No one's forcing you anything.
All right, great.
No one said forced.
That's good. So in that case,
right? Do you accept Western scholarship?
When it's right.
Okay, nothing to do with race though, yeah?
Have I said this?
Well, because you were saying it's dominated by white men.
Yeah, no, but if white people talk about black people's history, then there's a question here. Why should a white man...
There's nothing wrong with people of different colours.
If a white man speaks about black people's history, for example, in Africa, they've never lived in the country, they haven't even...
So they can't talk about it.
They can talk about it, but they're going to have limitations as white people in the West. They're going to have those limitations. And we...
but only because they've never been there, not because they're white.
Yes. It's not because of their skin colour, it's because of the geography.
Don't say skin colour then. Just say...
Okay, thank you for your advice. Thank you for your advice. Yeah, going back to the point.
All right.
No, hold on. This is very important. If I, for example,
Should we stop talking about race?
It's up to you, but you're the one who brought it up.
Stop talking about race.
You did bring it up.
You did bring it up.
I said, why should I be forced
to accept Western scholarship that's dominated by white people?
Yeah, why should I? That is the genuine question. I shouldn't be.
I have to go by that.
Why do I have to go by that except for that?
I don't care what someone's skin colour is.
Okay, good.
I don't understand why you put it up.
I don't care what you say, but...
He doesn't trust Western scholarship because it's dominated by white men.
Yeah, but I don't think he meant because of colour of skin.
Yeah, it's not the causative reason.
Okay, so it's not race.
The cause is not the pigmentation of your skin or lack thereof in your case. Yeah,
sure.
It's not the fact that you're white and
the
Prophet ﷺ told us very clearly. There's no difference between a white man and a black man.
Except for in Western scholarship.
Sorry.
Except for in Western scholarship, because that's what you said.
What I'm saying is, just because you have a hegemony, because you said scholarship.
Race, apparently.
See, now you're forcing it upon me. He's poisoning the world.
No, that's what you said. You said white people.
White people,
yes,
right now,
in Western scholarship, that's what you talked about.
Yes.
Right.
If white people, it could be black people, it could be brown people, Western people.
Right. I'd rather not talk about people's colour.
Bro, I don't care. I don't care what you care. I said my statement. You can do what you want with it. Honestly, call me what you want. I don't care.
All right. Well, let's get out of this because
the point is this.
Yeah.
Perfect preservation.
Yeah.
We have our own definitions of it.
Right. Which does not meet the scholarly interpretation.
The white man's interpretation. No, the white man's.
Now do you believe it?
No, there you have
it. I gave him every opportunity to get out of it. I gave him every opportunity.
It's a subjective term. Look, perfect is subjective.
No. If you
it's not like 2 + 2 = 4.
With textual variance, textual criticism.
What does perfect mean?
It means that there is one copy of something that
according
we know comes from one author.
According to who?
According to anyone who studies textual variance.
Like who?
Any scholars.
Give me one.
Dr. Daniel Brubaker.
So white man. No, white. No, hold on.
Man, you're digging yourself a hole.
No, he's a white Islamophobe. Hold on.
He's a white Islamophobe.
He is a white Islamophobe who's appeared in David Wood's channel. You're giving me him as a source.
So
why should I accept this?
What do you mean why should I accept it? It's academia. Why do you not accept academia?
What, because a white man wrote it, I have to believe in it?
No, any colour.
Okay, any colour.
You do know that Dr. Yasser Qadi studies, right? Like, I think he studies at the University of Rice. I think it might be a different one. You're not saying that you would accept him because of the colour of his skin,
I don't care about him or anyone else. I'm saying that
only if they're white.
Look, excuse me. The word perfect.
Okay.
Let's forget about race now, yeah?
Yeah, good. Get out of that.
I don't need to get out of that. I said what I said. I've been saying this from 2012, yeah? I've been talking about there is an issue with race here. There is an issue with race. Because there's a post-colonial reality, where whiteness is actually something which is a part of the discourse.
Whiteness.
Yes, whiteness, the skin color itself. In my country, where I'm from,
whiteness?
look, whiteness, your color. Do you understand or not? if you go to a country like, if
so
you go to a
white
country,
people.
excuse me, if
Yeah.
you go to a country
Yeah.
like my original country,
I don't know what that is.
all right, which is Egypt, yeah?
Okay, cool.
Or you go to parts of India,
Yeah.
they have a caste system whereby the lighter skin you are, the better you are. There is a racial element.
And you don't believe in that?
No, I don't believe that the whiter you
Okay.
are, the better you are. No, I don't. Do you
Right,
believe that?
or the other way around?
Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that at all.
Okay, good man. That's what. That's what.
Okay. But my point is why do you keep talking about whiteness?
The reason why whiteness is important, my friend, yeah, is because
You just told me it wasn't.
No,
Okay, go on, keep going.
it's important in some aspects. For
Yeah.
example, writing of history is
Okay.
because, for example, in the colonial period,
Okay.
a lot of the reason why people enslaved or colonized races
Okay.
was because they believed that their race was better than that race.
Okay.
Do you know that or not?
No,
For
sure,
example, the
I-
transatlantic
I-
slave trade.
Yeah, I know
when
about
they went
that.
into West Africa,
Sure.
part of the justification of doing that, Darwin himself writes in his book
Yeah.
that he thinks that the black man has a fifth toe or something.
What's this got to do with whiteness, though?
Because it's whiteness is part. Look, for example, Nazi Germany. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
When they were doing scientific experimentation in 1930s,
Okay.
they were doing eugenics programs.
Yep.
Their idea was that the whiter you are, the better you are.
No, the more Aryan you are, the better.
Yeah, that's whiteness skin.
No, that's not. No, you don't know what Aryan
Bro,
is.
sorry, but it's
You do know
whiteness.
that include people from
They
Iran?
mentioned that the blacker you are,
No.
I can give you sources for it. Bro.
If you look at what. Why are we talking about
So
this?
you're hold on. Look,
we were
he's
going- we were
defending
talking-
Hitler. By the way, he's defending Hitler.
I'm defending
He's defending Hitler. Yeah.
Really, dude?
He's
No,
defending.
Hitler was
yeah,
abhorrent.
Yeah. No, you're defending the eugenics
No,
program.
you're
of Hitler.
defending. You're defending
Are
that
you doing
whiteness is some sort of like.
Have I said that?
Yeah, you said whiteness. You used the term
I said
whiteness.
some sort of what? Go on.
You
Finish the
used the
sentence.
term whiteness.
What have I said about it?
And you said that whiteness was an important thing in the,
It is
in the
important
context
thing.
of academia.
Of course it is, because
That
there's
is
a
racial
there is-
statement.
Yes, it is a racial statement. It's not a racist statement. It's a racial statement.
Well,
I'm saying that
it is specifically about
no,
white people.
because there has been a history where white people have gone into
Yeah.
black
Every race
people's
has done
country.
things to every race. You
No, but
understand
they're doing it on the basis of race.
that? Many people have done things on the basis of race.
White people in particular.
I think Western is
White people in
Everybody
particular.
has. Everybody
Western
has.
is a better word.
Listen, with all due respect, I made my point. I've said my point is this:
Okay.
if in the post-colonial literature you do find history is coloured, no pun intended, is coloured by the racial preferences and superiority complexes of white people for the last 100 years. I know that exists.
Okay, so does that mean you accept or reject Western
I'm
academia?
not saying that I accept or reject. I'm saying that I look at all evidences on the basis of the evidence. But you have to appreciate there
Okay,
can be
on
a bias.
evidence, not on
There can be a bias
Okay.
that has to do with race. There can be a bias that has to do with placement.
Are you saying there
geography.
is a bias on race?
Yes, there is. Well, historically, of course, there has
No,
been.
no, I mean like now.
Yeah, of course there is. Have you not seen the?
Wait, so okay,
Have you not
wait,
seen?
wait.
Have you not seen many?
What
racial.
I'm saying is, I wanna-
Sorry, let me just answer your question.
Okay.
Have you not seen race realism?
Race realism.
What is race realism? Race realism.
Is it saying there's inherently qualities in race that are superior to others?
Exactly. And
I reject that, absolutely.
Great, beautiful,
Okay.
excellent. Thank you
Right.
very much.
Okay.
Race realism exists. Race realism says that the whiter you are, basically the cleverer you are. They use IQ and other things to say that the blacker you
Well,
are.
it's any race really.
Okay,
It's the
no,
idea of
do you
racial
reject that?
supremacy.
Do you reject
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Excellent.
Reject it.
Now you reject that,
Yeah.
but you can't assume all of your peers do. A lot of your.
Okay.
I'm not
I've never
considering.
met a single person who affirms that, by the way.
So race realism, who's it upheld by? But by nobody.
I don't know, like the KKK.
No, it's not by the KK. It's an academic thing, bro. It's in
People-
academia. People
Right.
equate
Right. Is it a
intelligence.
popular view in academia?
Yes, it's quite
It's a
popular.
popular view.
Popular view in academia.
Race realism.
It's popular. Yes, it's very popular. Extremely popular.
That there are certain races more superior than others.
Yes, of course.
Can you name scholars?
Yeah, of course I can name scholars, bro.
Name me two.
I'll give one. Yeah, one for now. Charles Darwin. Bro, very clearly, Charles Darwin.
From
No, hold on.
200 years ago.
No problem.
Come on. Name me one today. Name me one today.